Henner. Mary Lou, of course, used to be the star of Taxi.
That's right.
She's written a whole bunch of health books. She used to fuck John Travolta. I remember that. I mean, bang. Should talk properly about that.
Well, she loves sex. She admits that.
Loves sex, loves the smell of a man, loves the taste of a man. But more importantly than anything, which I'm shocked. Hi, Mary Lou.
Hi.
I'm more shocked than anything that all the times I had you on the show and spoke to you, you never mentioned this autobiographical superpower you have.
Well, it's so weird because, I've always had it. I've talked about it a lot. I was on Bob Costas talking about it in the Today Show, in different shows. People would ask me about it. But, I never knew it was that unique. The whole 60 Minutes thing has surprised me probably most of all because I had no idea it's being considered a superpower. It's crazy.
That means, according to the piece on 60 Minutes, which I saw, Mary Lou's brain is one of only 6 that they know about in the world. Her brain is actually, it's actually larger than most people. Have you ever been tested IQ-wise?
I'm sure when I was little at school, but I never knew what it was or anything.
Were you super intelligent in school?
I was. I was very smart in school. I was one of those good little Catholic school girls. I got 4 scholarships to go to the University of Chicago. I was,
Wow, you see, it seems like...
But that has nothing to do with it because a lot of the people, in fact, the first woman who came forward, she talks about the fact that she was not a good student. Some of the other people in the group felt like they were not good students at all.
They've only found that 6 people in the world so far have this ability. And by the way, Mary Lou has procreated. She has children, which is good because I want this genetic...
Well, do the children have it?
It's my younger one. I have 2 boys, 15 and 16 years old, and they both are super intelligent. My son, who's 16, is graduating, and he already got into Columbia University next year.
But do they have that ability?
Well, my younger one does. He doesn't want to own it yet, but he's got the greatest memory I've ever seen on anyone else.
But does he have autobiographical memory?
He can tell you, he doesn't have he can't say, a certain day was a Monday or Tuesday and things like that. But I know that if he really wanted to, he could. But he remembers every detail. No, Mom, that was 3 weeks ago, and stuff like that.
For those of you who didn't see this piece on 60 Minutes, and Mary Lou's referring to the fact that her son is still developing his superpowers. But Mary Lou has a superpower.
When did it kick in for her? Because that
11.
was also...
Well, what's interesting? I mean, I can remember back to 2 years old, 1 year old, 5 years old, but it really gelled at 12.
Mm-hmm.
And, but I still remember 10, 11, all that.
Let me explain to people what your power is, because maybe some people didn't see 60 Minutes or hear my show yesterday. The superpower is called autobiographical memory. So the way it works is, if I said to Mary Lou, Sunday, no, I don't even have to say Sunday. Let's say I said November 4th, 1972. She could
November 4th, 1972 was a Saturday.
And you could tell me what the weather was that day.
Well, in Chicago.
What was the weather in Chicago that day?
Well, this is so funny. November 4th, 1972. I know exactly what I was doing on that day.
You're probably blowing John Travolta.
No.
Go ahead.
I didn't even meet him until 3 weeks later.
Oh, I see.
Yes. Actually, I went to a restaurant called Gaya's Restaurant in Chicago. I was at the University of Chicago, and I was also in a show, Good Woman of Szechuan. And
what was the weather that day?
It was cold. Well, it's always cold in Chicago, but it was particularly cold, and I remember the dress I had on.
They say that it might sort of be like OCD, this amazing ability.
It's weird. It lies in the same place in the brain, but I might like an organized closet, but believe me, 1 in 6 of us had to be organized, so I came from a big, messy family. I don't have, phobias, or I don't have a germ thing, or I don't obsess on things. And
How deep does the power go? In other words, would you know what your waiter looked like that day at the restaurant?
Oh, definitely. Oh, no, I totally know what I looked like. Oh, what's so funny is that I can tell you, what I weighed, who I was dating all the time, what I was wearing, what I was doing. And it's funny because I was practically a grown-up before I realized other people couldn't do it.
Do you remember?
And do you remember everybody's name?
Names, it's like I remember. It's very experiential. You know what I'm saying? It's like
Right.
I'm in my body when I think back to it. I see myself at a party that night. I see myself at this restaurant that night. And I feel like I'm walking through the crowd or I'm talking to somebody, and so.
But when I mention a date and I say to you such and such a date, and then you go, "Oh, that was a Sunday."
What do I see?
No. When you say that was a Sunday, in other words, you don't even have to go through a process. You just know that was a Sunday, that date.
Well,
How does that work?
I don't know. In the 60 Minutes, when my son was asking me dates, because what's funny, I spent 4 days with 60 Minutes, so you can imagine what I went through. In fact, one of the days, I ended up answering. They gave me every memory test known to man. I mean, every test that has ever been conceived to test somebody's brain. So it wasn't just about autobiographical. It was everything else: visual, sequential, numerical. Every single test that has ever been designed.
Do you have to? Let's say I said to you, "Give me Bob Smith's phone number." Would you?
Well, phone numbers have always been easy for me because I can always associate them with dates.
So you don't need a Rolodex. In other words, if I say anybody's phone number, as long as you've processed that number in your head somewhere, it'll come up.
Yes.
Oh, my God. Do you remember what happened to us, me and you, in July of 98?
In July of 98, I was doing, you mean at the Four Seasons?
Wow. Unfucking believable. You do remember?
Yeah.
Do you remember the exact date?
It was during the middle of the week. I went with, it was July 16th.
That's right.
Yeah.
Holy shit. I ran into her. What happened that day in July?
It's probably, okay, so July 16th, 1998 was a Thursday.
Right.
Yeah.
That's correct.
Right. And so in the afternoon, I had a big brunch at my house, and I was working on one of my books. I was still.
When you say you had a big brunch, what did you eat?
I had like a big salad, cold noodles with sesame sauce.
Did you make a big duty that day?
Oh my God!
Do you remember even that?
I'm a healthy girl. I know that you're healthy now, Robin, too.
I am.
Do you remember the day that you had your biggest duty? Do you?
I'm not going to get into the duty talk.
Wait a second. Do you remember the day you had your biggest duty?
The biggest in my life?
Yeah.
As a healthy person?
Yes.
Oh, it's every day.
It's every day.
Floaters, not sinkers.
Do you remember on on July 15th, 1994, how many duties you made? I'm being serious.
I don't know.
You don't know? Does it play like a movie in front of you?
I'll tell you how it's so incredible. I've been describing my memory for so long to people that I used to call it, I said, it's like going to a card catalog, okay? Because I wanted people to sort of know what the access, how you access it.
Right.
And for me, once I saw selected scenes on a DVD the first time, I went, oh my gosh, this is what it's like. And what happens to me is that the entire year, when you say a year, it sort of like runs itself through and left to right, almost like a timeline. And I see all the little selected scenes of the year, like in a calendar way, but more next to each other, not in a page flipping way.
I see it as a blessing, but Robin was saying yesterday it could be a curse, and one of the people in 60 Minutes didn't want to come in, sees it as a curse because they can't even forget. I would think it would be a blessing in my life because I do routines about my parents, let's say, that like this morning. I would be able to access all of the conversations and hear them again, right?
Oh, absolutely. And I lost my parents really young. I was 17 when my father died, and he died a horrible way, and so did my mother. And I saw both of them.
How did they die?
And he died during an argument with my brother when we were having a Christmas party at our house.
Was he killed?
No, not at all.
Did he have a heart attack? Oh,
and you can play that over in your head.
I can over and over. And my mother died of arthritis. She was a dancing teacher and lost her leg.
Let me ask you something.
It's horrible.
Wait a second. Go back to your father. The day your father died, he was in an argument with your brother. You can recall the entire event.
Yes.
Do you remember your father's last sentence?
He had already kind of passed out when I came into because we were having this huge party in our backyard because we had a dancing school in our backyard in our garage.
Right.
And so I came in when he had already gone into it. But I know that my father's, I know my father's last words to me at the party. But that's something I think people would remember anyway.
Yeah, they would remember that.
Yeah, they would remember that anyway. So it's not so much things like that. But don't forget, as an actress, anything, it was never... When you only know something, it's not weird to you. It was never weird to me to have a great memory because I've always had it.
Yeah, but does it work like
people could too?
As an actress, when you were on Taxi, they hand you the script. Could you read it once and then completely have it memorized because you've read it once?
No, it's not so much a photographic memory. That's what photographic memory is. Although I have a very strong photographic memory because that's an easy. I can like sit there and have the experience of reading through it and then almost like see the page in front of me. But it's not like I can like read a script once and then know the words.
What was
maybe 3 times and I'll know the words.
What day was it that you first saw your first pubic hair down there?
Stop.
I'm serious.
I know you really have to veer this conversation.
No, I want to know because I don't remember.
No, I don't remember that.
You don't remember that? Isn't that funny?
Well, do you remember the day you got your period?
Do you remember?
It's one that sprouts out. Do you know what I'm saying? It's
what was the day?
You go like, ooh, that's it. Stuff like that.
What was the first day you had an orgasm?
Gosh, then the person will know who. No, I'm kidding.
Go ahead.
I'm not telling you that.
Why not?
Because
you were never uptight about sex.
What?
When did you get uptight about sex?
No, maybe because I have teenage boys. How about that?
So what? Who cares?
I have a 15 and 16-year-old. No, I don't have to go into that.
When did you have your first orgasm? But do you know the date?
I do.
Right,
what about when you got your period? Was that a shocker? And where were you and the whole thing?
What was the date? Your period. Wait, better yet, what was the date? The first time you swallowed a man's...
Oh, I know that for sure.
Go ahead. What's the date?
No, I'm not letting this veer off into that.
Come on.
You want to talk about some of the other stuff?
All right, how's this?
What?
What was the weather like on the day you first swallowed a man's jism?
Beautiful.
It was beautiful out.
Beautiful out.
And...
Was it daytime or night?
Was it night or day?
Evening.
Evening.
Don't forget, I'm a good Catholic schoolgirl. We do everything. No,
here's a test.
Penetration's the mortal sin. Everything else is venial. So we get good at the venial stuff.
Mary Lou Henner, you appeared on my show 4 times. Give me the 4 dates.
Oh gosh, 4 times. Let's see. Well, first of all, do you know that I was supposed to be on your show Friday, September 9th of 1994?
What happened?
I was in New York. I didn't make it because my little boy, he was 5 months old at the time, he was sick. But it had nothing to do with the fact that the day before you were kind of nasty to my good friend Fran Drescher. I don't know if you remember that.
I don't remember. I'm friends with Fran.
Yeah, she's a doll.
Yeah.
She's a great girl. Okay, so I did end up on the show a couple weeks later talking, and that was September, it was Friday, September 23rd of 1994.
It says here you never appeared on a Friday.
What?
It says the first time you appeared on the show.
Uh-huh.
You say September?
Yeah.
What?
Howard, these are when she phoned in. These are all
these are phony.
Oh, yeah.
Jesus, Gary. She's right, and we're wrong. We're wrong. These are phoners?
But I remember in when you came to L.A.,
yes.
And I had to come super, super early in the morning.
You're right.
Yeah, and it was at the Comedy Store, I think. Yeah, wasn't it? You were in that, and I remember Robin, was in like a funny little boothy kind of thing.
Do you know let me just understand this. Do you understand the 4? Can you recall the 4 days that you called into the show?
I think I can. I mean, I'm not 100% sure because, it's a phone call, so I'm standing in my kitchen or my bathroom.
This is insane.
Wait, you got to hear this, Howard. So we went through the logs yesterday, and we couldn't find when she was in studio.
Right.
And it was making us crazy, so we couldn't find it. September 23rd, that day she's talking about, Jason just went and looked back. Her name's spelled wrong in the log. She's right, we're wrong.
Wow.
That's crazy.
That's crazy stuff. This is crazy. I should have made love to you.
Oh, my gosh.
This is such a mistake.
You would have remembered that.
Was there any opportunity for you to make love to her? What are you talking about?
I think she wanted it from me at one point. I
always found you sexy, Howard. You know that.
I think I could have gotten her.
Judith Regan and I always talked about how much we loved you. Always.
Oh, man.
Do you remember the first time? I remember the first time I met Judith.
No, but wait a second. Give me one of the dates that you called into the show.
let's see. Also, let's see. Tuesday, April. It was in '96. April 30th.
You are completely correct.
Oh, wow.
This is insane. Do you realize the superpower this woman has, and that eventually
what can you do with it?
This is
well, I'm writing a book about it because I know I can help other people. Because I don't want to do this just like let's bring out the little wind-up toy. That's
right.
so not what I want to do. I'm all about helping people, and I know that the scientists are going crazy over this because they feel like it's going to be great for Alzheimer's and other brain problems, et cetera, and just tapping into something that's never been tapped into before. And so in my book, which comes out in May, so I'll definitely come on again and talk about it. I'm talking about what it's like to not only be in this head, but also how to help other people learn how to access information, store it, and then retrieve it.
Really? You could teach somebody to do that.
I teach classes at marylou.com, and I have memory classes. I have a focus group. I know.
Yeah, but you've got that brain. We don't have that.
Yeah, but it's also the brain is a muscle, and so the more
you can't. I could have all the muscles in the world. I could never do what you do.
I can't turn anybody into this. I know that.
You're amazing.
But it's definitely something that that you can. I just spent a week with my sister, so I know some of the things that she'll refer to something, and I'll say no, it was this day, and then all of a sudden
she doesn't have the power.
She doesn't have the power. Everybody in my family is really smart, and they have great memories.
I heard she can turn invisible. Is that true?
You got the memory. She got invisibility.
Oh, that's a nice one.
And her dad used to be able to run really fast.
Oh, my gosh. That would be your favorite.
And your mother died horribly, too?
Oh, my mom was a dancing teacher. We had this dancing school in our backyard with 200 students between the ages of 2 and 80, including the nuns who came over for stretch classes, because we lived next door to a Catholic church.
Yeah.
And my mom also ran a beauty shop in our kitchen with 25 women from the neighborhood.
No wonder she died young. She was exhausted.
Yeah. And so anyway, so she was incredible, and she had this dancing school, and then after my father died, the stress just took over her body, and she ended up having horrible rheumatoid arthritis, and she died from the complications of it and ended up losing her leg, and it was terrible. It was
awful.
No, terrible ways. And my parents were fabulous people. They created this environment for our neighborhood that people still talk about today. It was just this little gem right in the middle of all of it.
Hey, baby, let me ask you something personal. How are you holding up? Are you looking good?
Oh yeah.
Body still tight?
I'm going to be on the Today Show tomorrow, and then next week I'm a judge on the Miss Universe pageant, and then I'm coming back to New York to do The View, and then
is the body holding up or what?
What?
How's the body look?
Good. I should come in and see you when I come back to New York.
You're not kidding. With these new superpowers, I can't get enough of you. I'm totally turned on.
It's so funny. And you're happy too. I'm happily married now too.
4 times, right?
My life.
Weren't you married like 4 times?
No, 3. But
3.
It's because I was waiting for this one. I've known Michael since the first year of college at the University of Chicago, but he was my college roommate's boyfriend.
This dude she married. She took her from her college roommate.
No.
How about Mary Lou is like sexual dynamite. She's sexual dynamite, but I'll tell you
She's sexual napalm.
She's sexual napalm. She loves sex so much, Mary Lou Henner. I hope she doesn't mind me saying this. She even told me she loves the smell, the taste of a man, right?
That's in my book. Yeah, I do.
And she made love to almost everyone on the show Taxi.
Except Danny DeVito.
But she found him sexy.
5 years, and we worked with 77 guys all day. Come on.
Well, listen
2
to
out
this.
of 77.
She banged Travolta. She banged Tony Danza, who evidently is an animal. He would have sex anywhere and do
anytime.
Why was he such an animal, Mary Lou? I don't even remember.
It's that energy. It's that Tony energy. But,
he banged you in weird places, right?
Yeah.
In the butt? No.
No, not the butt. And also, she made love to. Now, okay, you get Travolta, you get Tony, but even Judd Hirsch, she fucked. I mean, banged. Excuse me.
I adore Judd. They were, these were great guys.
What was the weather like
70s.
under Judd Hirsch's balls on January 12th, 1984?
Oh, I wasn't with him then.
Wow, the
I don't
memory
know.
on you. And you remember every sexual moment, right? I mean, it all plays out.
It's all, well, see, I really believe that because a person has been through their lives, it's in there somewhere. That's why people, when they get lost or something, or some kind of change in their body or whatever, certain memories come back because it's all stored somewhere in our muscles and in our psyche and our hard drive.
That's what hypnotists will say. Yeah, if you really take a person back to the day, you can walk them through it just like they're there.
The experts say that we only access not even like 10% of our brain power.
Right.
So I believe what Mary Lou is, she is one of those people that she is what we're going to look like.
She got an extra couple of percent.
She's going to look like what we do in the future. And that she is the beginning of a mutation in the human existence, that eventually we will have these superpowers.
Oh, I'm excited about that.
Compared to her, we're like Gary the retard.
We're Charlie when he goes back.
Right. We're retarded compared to her. But we have this. She is the future. Don't you see?
Well, wait a minute. Let me just ask you something.
We're frogs.
Excuse me. Are you plagued by any of these memories? Are there things you would rather not have in your head?
Really not. Because, and you know what? This is
first time she met me.
Wait, what did you say?
I said the first time you met me.
Oh, well, you know what it is? It's like this. It's like if you process it in some way that it's just part of you, it doesn't become this like crazy emotional boogeyman. Like, oh, I don't want to look at that. I don't want to look at it. When you do that, then it really has power over you.
Well, the reason I ask is because people who have something really traumatic happen to them, they already are stuck with that memory, and sometimes they can never break out of it. Like it marks them for the rest of their lives.
Right.
Like that could be dangerous in a memory like yours.
Like mine.
The most tragic things certainly have been what's happened to my parents and things like that. And,
right.
But but because it's such a part of me, and there are like lessons to be learned from things, and I just never, I can't say that anything so horrible to me happens that I would want to block it out. So maybe other people feel differently. I don't know. I'm not in their heads. But for me, even the most horrible things that have happened to me, it's a part of my life and part of my story.
Do you ever lose your keys? Is it possible for you to lose your keys? No.
You know what? I could be like, where did I put them? And then I'll just retrace, and I'll be like, okay, that's where they're going to be.
Wow.
So it's like that.
I mean, this is just unbelievable to me.
Oh, thank you.
Do you think your powers go so deep that, like, have you ever witnessed a crime, but they needed to know, like, a person who was standing in the background, and you could draw up the whole picture of what was going on?
That's never happened to me, but yeah, I could probably do that. I was involved in a deposition, and because of the details of my observations, they threw the whole case out. They changed it because my deposition was so like crazy thorough.
Who was the best lover, Judd Hirsch, Tony Danza, or
all different?
Travolta.
All different. Very different. And I have different relationships with those guys, of course. I mean, Johnny and I practically grew up together.
Do you know how many times, do you know every date of when you had sex with John Travolta?
I know every date that I spent with anybody in my life.
Wow.
Let's put it that way. Do I sit and calculate them constantly? No. But could I, it's like, this is what's interesting about thinking about anything.
What was the weather like the first time you made John Travolta, when you first made love to him?
Oh,
seriously?
I know. It was actually, it was in San Francisco, so it was kind of,
Of course.
Yeah. So it was like
it was
San
overcast.
Francisco type weather. What?
Was it overcast?
It was overcast.
Yeah. It was the evening.
It was evening.
Oh, okay. You know what? I'm wondering when she, pleasures herself. You can just go. You just don't have to take a magazine. You can relive an entire
Is that true?
sexual experience.
Come on, but don't other people?
Not in your detail.
No, not the way you can.
It's like a porno movie in
Really?
there.
Yeah,
it's unreal.
like, but you know what's so funny? Because a lot of people, when they remember things, especially now, because of photographs or because of watching themselves from a video, when they look back on a memory, especially if it's sparked by any of those things, they see themselves in third person.
Right.
Kind of the way Scrooge did, where he was looking through the window and watching himself.
And that's what you see.
No, not me. I'm in my body.
In it. She's in it. That's what I'm saying. She can
in my body looking
relive the whole experience.
It's like time
banging
travel.
somebody.
What is your earliest vivid memory? Like, in other words, Can you remember back to when you were 2?
Oh, younger.
Not in.
You don't remember in utero.
In utero, no.
What is your first memory? Like, how old are you?
I'm around 18 months.
And what's the memory?
Oh, it was my little brother. He was barely sitting up. My mother was holding him sitting up. I'm sitting and playing in my house, and in the apartment. We lived in the old apartment then.
Can you remember the conversation around you?
No. I just remember certain visuals from that apartment.
And you don't know the day or anything.
I do remember one of my first really strong memories, but I know it because my sister was born on that day. So that was Monday, September 27th, 1954.
When Judd, all right, go back in your memory. Judd Hirsch is going to put his penis inside you the first time. What type of condom does he put on? Or does he?
Talking about that.
Listen to me. I need to know this. You have no ability to resist my question.
Oh, well, find one I can't resist.
Come on,
You
seriously.
can ask me about my husband.
Oh, I'll tell you why you're a good woman. I heard a wonderful story about you. This new husband that you have. Mm-hmm. This guy had serious cancer.
2 of them, yeah.
And she married him during his cancer.
Wow.
Well, what happened was, we got together, and 2 months into our relationship, he was diagnosed with 2 cancers.
Most women would split.
Wait a minute.
A lot of people said that, but not me. Oh my gosh, split.
What kind of cancer?
With the love of my life, and it's like, oh my God, failure is not an option. I'm going to take him all over the country to meet every doctor I know.
What was his cancer?
He had bladder cancer and he had lung cancer.
And lung cancer. Mm-hmm.
But he's totally in remission now.
Was he super rich?
No, not at all. He's got a great company. Do you know the company Brown Trout Calendars?
No.
If you have any kind of animal calendar, or Audrey Hepburn or Outhouses, or 2 of his calendars were featured on Ellen, the Goats and Trees and Outhouses.
Isn't it funny that you're attracted to a guy who's in calendars?
How crazy!
Like you don't even need one.
No, I know, nobody can believe it. They said, "Oh my gosh!" But I've been secretly in love with him, since I'm 18.
Yes. And what was the weather like when you first made love to him? And what was the date?
Well, that I can tell you.
Good.
That I can tell you. That was March 3rd, 2003. It was Monday.
First time you did anal, what was it? You got to come see me.
He's the love of my life. My whole life lined up for us to be together. So it's great. Didn't you think it was interesting on 60 Minutes that when she asked the question about it was what was so interesting is that it's 3 men and 3 women.
Right.
The 3 men are left-handed. The 3 women are right-handed. I mean, they did every kind of genetic testing, muscle testing. They tested us forever.
Yeah, they wanted to make sure it wasn't a fraud, and it's not. I mean, this is the real deal.
By the end of I told you I spent 4 days with them. By the end of my day of testing, of question testing, I had answered over 500 questions.
Good Lord.
And they found things from all over, and it was just like, they have a test. One of the tests that they do has 60 questions to it, and most people get 0 to 3 correct. And I got 47.
Wow.
And the ones that I didn't know never crossed my radar, couldn't associate them with anything. And that was just like that was like a memory test.
It is
for
amazing.
Dates and stuff.
It's amazing. I'm amazed by it.
You know what? I think a lot of people will come forward and they're going to find a lot more of us. I mean, a lot more. I'm sure. I'm sure it's not as phenomenon.
I'm going to pick a random date. This will be the final question.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to pick a random date. And you tell me what happened on that day in history. And
I don't know. I mean, I'm not like a history
I don't mean
buff.
history, but tell me what happened to you that day. Maybe something phenomenal happened that day, or maybe it was just an ordinary day.
Because it is autobiographical.
That's right. I understand.
Have to do anything with history.
Because there are a lot of people who are on the autism spectrum who, and I'm not on the autism spectrum at all. But, not that there's anything wrong with that, but it's not connected to that at all. There are people who have Asperger's or autism, and they, you can name a date,
right.
in his, like in the 1200s.
What happened to you on the 15th of August, 1975?
Oh, the 15th of August, 1975, I know exactly. It was a Friday. It was, did somebody call in about this?
No. I randomly, I just thought of the number.
Oh, August 15th, 1975. It was a Friday. It was my 3rd date with somebody that I ended up being involved with for 3 years, and it was the first time that we
made love.
Made love, yeah.
Who was it?
an old boyfriend of mine from the Grease days.
Oh, Travolta.
But not Travolta. No, I knew Johnny from 72. We met in 1972.
And what's all this stuff? Well, he's not into chicks. He's into chicks, right?
He's into me. I can't attest to anyone else.
What do you think's going on there?
So.
Maybe he just likes it all.
So.
What do you think? What's your speculation on that?
You know, he was definitely into it. So
let me guess who the guy was on this.
Oh, you wouldn't know.
Grease guy,
no,
Jeff Conaway.
Jeff Conaway.
No. Jeff and I were always like brother and sister.
Well,
no,
I got to tell you something. This is very impressive.
Oh, thank you.
I am very turned on by you.
Hey, Howard.
What is it,
I'll
Benji?
come see you when I come back.
Yeah, you got to let me look you over. I want to see how you're holding up.
Okay.
How old are you now?
I'm 58.
58?
Yeah.
You don't have to come see me then.
Oh, okay.
You're like, no, I'm just joking.
So funny.
You're 58 and you're holding up good, huh?
I'm holding up good. Well, you know, it's that vegan diet. You know, it's good. That plant-based food, you know.
I know you can remember anything, but don't remember 58.
I try to forget that.
You try to forget that one. What is it,
See, that's the
Benji?
problem. You can't
I'm
forget.
going to live a long, long time.
Hey, Mary Lou.
Happy.
Mary Lou,
What?
when you say like you can remember, like you can see what happened at 18 months, can you actually remember thoughts in your head?
Yes.
Like what were you thinking at 18 months?
I was thinking that, you know, I wanted to help her hold up my little brother. And I was thinking, you know, like the day my sister was born, I can remember thinking I can't wait to play with her. And I can remember actually before, that was like a very vivid day, but I can remember even before that because I loved to sing. My whole life I have loved to sing.
Do you have any belief or do you have any memories of a past life?
There are things that happen to me, especially in France, where I go, oh, I've been here before. So little things like that. Or I'll go to a country or I'll go to a place and I'll say, I've been here before.
Have you ever tried to look into that and test that at all?
I haven't. I should do that. But
So do you believe in God and do you believe in reincarnation?
I definitely believe in I don't know if he doesn't have like a white robe and long hair, but I definitely believe in a higher power.
Do you remember meeting God in a past life?
Well, I was definitely the kid sitting in church who thought she could see the statues breathing. You know what I'm saying? I feel like.
Well, I think you're just
I've felt very connected to in a spiritual way. So
I am very curious about all of this. This is wild stuff. You understand?
Really?
This is the closest thing I have to Superman. I want superpowers. I want them.
Well, then I'm definitely going to have to come on when I tell you about my book. So, you know, because I know I can help people. I know it, and I'm so excited about that.
What are you going to wear?
I don't know. I probably, you know, something that shows off the fact that I eat well.
You're something tight. What is it, Gary?
Could Mary Lou go to Vegas and play blackjack and count cards? Is that part of it?
It's so funny. No, although I would remember a lot of, I'm not a card counter. I was just in Vegas last week with 28 family members, Christmas week, and I'm going back to Vegas next week for the Miss America pageant. And so, you know, I don't want them to think.
So, in other words, your point is she could possibly remember every card that's been put out.
You would think. I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
I in the memory test that I did. Oh, I also want to say I have a Hallmark movie, Mulligan, which is really fun. So I want to talk about that too. But anyway, I would remember if I really concentrated while I was sitting there. I understand like the order and the sequence and the chronology of things.
Wow.
So I could probably tell people like 4 hands ago you had this and I had this. You know, numbers and. You know, especially if I related things to dates.
The phones are burning up. What is it, Frosty?
Oh, really?
Quick for Mary Lou. What do you want to say?
Hey, Howard, I just wanted to ask Mary Lou if she can tell me the date, the day of the week, and what the weather was like the first time she got anal.
Oh, God.
It was very cloudy. She's not into. She's very uptight about sex.
No.
All right, thanks.
All right, go ahead, Mel. What do you want to say?
Hey, now, Howard. Can anybody say hoax? Fred,
Hoax?
Hoax.
Can I hear a cuckoo bird, Fred?
Wait a second, Mel, wait a second.
What are you saying? You're in on this?
This is unbelievable. This woman, because my guys are such morons, they wrote her name wrong in the computer. I asked her the first time she was on the show. I said, no, it's wrong. And then they went back and checked. They spelled her name wrong.
And she was right.
And she knows. She could tell you the weather, and we can go back and check it.
Well,
There's no hoax here.
It just sounds fishy, and
It does sound fishy, but it's real.
Yeah, that's so weird. Well, I mean, go to UC Irvine, University of California at Irvine, and talk to the people there.
Watch the 60 Minutes report on it. It was a fascinating report. There's no way
and they tested her and tested her and tested her.
Yeah.
Oh, but it was crazy how many things.
I just said to the woman, "When did you call into my show?" She picked out the date and knew what day of the week it was.
Well, that's fascinating, but will she ride the Sibian later today?
Yes. When she comes in, she'll be riding the Sibian. Thank you.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, Mary Lou, you got to get on that thing. People don't give a shit about your memory.
I guess not.
Anyway, I do.
They're not as evolved as you are.
Mary Lou, it's so good to speak with you.
So great to talk to you, too, again.
Let me do the plug. You got the book coming out. You got the special on the Hallmark special.
Yes, it's called Mulligan, and it's with Jenny Garth, and Peter Facinelli wrote it.
Okay.
And I have a movie this summer called Vamps with Alicia Silverstone and Sigourney Weaver, Richard Lewis, your pal.
Right.
So, it's all good stuff. And,
good.
And come see me at marylou.com because I teach classes and I'm in the chat room and, talk to people all the time.
Any pictures?
Yeah, some good ones.
What are you wearing?
Different things. You'll see.
All right, very good. I like it. All right, Mary Lou, thank you. Mary Lou Henner,
guys.
the amazing superwoman, Mary Lou Henner. I am just shocked.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.
I need a superpower. Oh, if I had that.
You have a superpower. You're
What
the
is
king
that?
of all media.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. What am I going to do with that?
I think people would say you've done a lot with it.
I'm blown out by that. Are you guys blown out by this?
Absolutely. I think it's fascinating, but I don't think necessarily that clear a memory is good for everyone.
I hear what you're saying, but
I mean, just imagine you were raped.
I was.
Oh.
I forgot about it.
Thank God you have no memory.
Yeah. Well, you're right. I mean, you would relive that over and over and over
Right.
again.
It would be horrible for you.
But she describes that you have to access that, but then she probably would be focused on it.
But that's the point. Mm-hmm. When people have something traumatic like that happen, the thing you want them to do is try to forget it, lessen the sting, and these people would have such detailed memories of it that it would be just horrible for them.
I want it. It's like being in a movie theater.
Listen, look at what your few memories have done to you.
That's the thing. I really want to know what happened. Who knows if these are made up or...
I know they're all made up. Oh. You exaggerate everything.
How dare you?
JD.
Yes.
If you possessed Mary Lou-like superpowers, how would you use that to your advantage?
How would I use it to my advantage? I don't know. The only thing you can sort of use to your advantage is like knowing stuff for the future. Remembering stuff. God, there's a lot of things I wish I could forget. So I don't even know if I'd want this that ability. I mean,
so the ability to remember every detail would be almost like your worst nightmare, not a superpower.
Well, I don't want to say worst nightmare. I mean, there's some cases where I wish I would remember something that's, where you can remember a zinger for against someone. I don't know. But I don't see like gaining an advantage, like, getting laid more, unless the girls are, or earning money. I don't know. So. Yeah, you're mockingly laughing at my exclamation. That it?
That's it. Fly away, superhero. Jason, if you possessed Mary Lou-like superpowers,
I'd kill myself. I'd be dead. Listen, all I do is remember the bad shit in my life anyway, and I fucking torture myself by thinking about it. And then if I had that, where I could like pull up conversations and hear them word for word in my head, I fucking go nuts. I do that already. Well, but not as good as her. But at the end of the day, I replay conversations in my head. I get driven crazy, things that I said wrong, things that other people said wrong. If I had her power and I could remember the first time I noticed I had back hair, or knew every time somebody picked on me, or every time I was embarrassed or ashamed of my body, I'd fucking jump out a window. I wouldn't have made it to 15 years old, I don't think. So it's probably best I don't have that ability. Unless it also came with flying.
If I remembered everything, fuck good is that? Let me think. What was the question?
If you had Mary Lou like superpowers, how would you use them to your advantage?
You mean her great ass? I'd probably flaunt it in front of guys like John Hine, Jason Kaplan.
AOL consumer advisor Gina Lewis
She has a good memory. What did they say? Count cards? Count cards. Probably would be higher up on the food chain than the phone answer. And yeah, what did you ask me?
So it means I could remember like everything that happened to me. I would remember the first time that I yelled about Steve Langford that it just doesn't matter, and I would have just let it go. No, I don't know. I don't know what good that. I smoke too much weed to have that power. You know what I mean? I think even if I had it, I would have killed it by now. You know what I mean? So I don't know.
That question's null and void.
Yeah, it's just not gonna happen. Much like me and Megan Fox having sex, there's no point for me to even think about that because it's just not gonna happen.
I think it would be tough because there are things obviously in your life that you want to remember, and there are other moments that you absolutely never want to relive again. So it would be very cool from a sports geeky trivia or want to like remember a great family moment sort of way. But there are other things which we're all embarrassed about that we wouldn't want to constantly relive. It's very cool and that you can do it. And but I wonder if it's hard for her or anyone else to sleep.
If you get me the gift,
the burden could become too heavy.
Enough for your hour interview.
It's a blessing.
And if it's decent, I'll give you an hour.
How would you use that to your advantage?
Somehow to get rid of you.
How would that work with a sequential memory?
Get you out of my fucking life.
No, you would remember everything that we've done together. You'd remember every conversation we've had. You would remember.
I'd probably kill myself then. Because I have to remember everything I said to you and dealt with you.
I think that would bring you great joy.
No, I think I'd kill myself.
Mr. Salem?
What? Just let your head drop.
If you possessed Mary Lou Henner's superpowers, how would you use them to your advantage?
You see me just take my glasses off. I'm going to put on my costume and I'm going to superpowers. I'm going to go in a phone booth and change my clothes.
Why would you need a uniform just because your memory is
It
great?
says God's gift to bowling on the back. You ever saw that?
I've seen it. I've lived it.
Yes. If I possessed her superpowers, what would I do?
Yes.
I'd take every memory of you and get rid of it.
Yeah, that'll happen.
I would be right in every argument with my wife. We were talking about that. My wife and I watched it together. She said, she goes, you're knocking all my shit.
Oh, I'm sorry.
She said, that would suck if you have that because every time we had an argument, you would always be right. I could say, it was a Tuesday, this is what you were wearing, and this is what you fucking said.
So you'd have instant callback to settle any discrepancy.
I mean, when couples argue, it's usually over. Well, you said this, or you said that, or you did this, or you didn't do that. And if one person had the ability to always be right, it'd be awesome.
Sal, if you possessed Mary Lou like superpowers, how would you use that to your advantage?
Well, I get asked a lot of times, who's the lady that says, "Can I taste your juice?" And I can't remember her name, but if I had Mary Lou Henner's memory, I'd be able to know her name. I might know her name's Ebony or something like that, but I don't have those powers, so I don't know.
If you possessed Mary Lou like superpowers, how would you use that to your advantage?
Well, let me tell you, I would go back to the times when my buddy shit all over a German Shepherd's cock, and then I jacked off the German Shepherd, and he came in my face, and then I licked my fingers, and it was really fun, and then we went out back, and we shot a raccoon, and Dad cooked it up and sold it to the black folks. Those are some good old days.
This is the best of the wrap-up show. A recap and behind-the-scenes look with John Hine and Gary Dell'Abate. The best of the wrap-up show begins now.
on Monday's show, we talked about the fact that Steve Langford wouldn't come into the studio in the morning, and whether this was going to affect his reputation and his credibility, and whether it made him a hypocrite or not. Here's how it went.
I want to start with what happened with George, and I guess Richard wanted him to officiate. Is that the right word? Officiate the?
Yeah, that would be about right.
And I guess he told Will this, and Will had told Howard, but it was news to George. Right. And George is such a sweet guy. Just he would do anything for anybody here. He is one of the family. But Howard wasn't too pleased about that coming up, although Richard and George do have a personal relationship. But that bled over to what happened with Steve Langford, where I guess his daughter interviewed George for some kind of project. And Howard drew the line. He's like, I don't want people bothering the guests. And where was he going with that, one, Gary? And two, why didn't Steve Langford come in and defend himself?
Well, the first part, Howard has always said, I don't want people bothering the guests, and it doesn't matter how high or low you are on the food chain. You know, I remember the first, like, Howard would say, I don't want people taking pictures with the guests. I want guests to be able to come up here and not be asked for autograph, not be asked for pictures. And then there was a weird thing going on where Jackie would have the day's guest autograph one of Jackie's jokes, and we put a stop to that. And then it was, everything from, Grillo calling Sherry Lansing looking to get acting work to, John talking to stockbrokers, and Howard's just like, leave my people alone. So, I mean, that's sort of the rule. Don't bother people who are on the show and ask them for favors.
But sometimes I guess you cultivate personal relationships with the people who are on the show. And Howard could look at it and say, everybody you basically talk to, you specifically, Gary, is as a result of him.
Like everything on the show, because people call and complain all the time, there's hard and fast rules, except there's different rules for everybody on the show. So I'm sure there's more latitude for Robin being friendly with a guest outside the show than there would be for, say, Jason. But as a general rule, Howard doesn't like the guests being bothered. Howard feels everything's a bother. So he feels like when you ask somebody something that it's a bother to them. And listen, it's his show. It's totally his prerogative. And maybe it is a bother. Like, maybe George is too nice a guy to say, I really don't want to do that.
Do you think Steve made a mistake not coming in today?
Huge, huge tactical error on Steve's part.
Why is that?
Because he paints everybody into a corner and explains to you why they have to answer his questions. Steve should have come in and just sort of said, hey, I agree with you, I made a mistake, or I disagree with you, and here's my argument. But how is what Howard was saying about Steve Langford any different than the argument between Steve Brandano, Steve the intern for the purposes of this, so everyone remembers. Remember Steve Brandano went to an event and his girlfriend at the time was there and he said he didn't want her interviewed?
That's right.
And Langford goes, it's part of the story. What's the difference?
And, well, another thing about that, Howard wasn't looking to talk to Steve's daughter or family there. He wanted to talk to Steve. And I guess when family comes up, all of a sudden you want to sort of change things.
What happens is when you have a big sensitivity to it, it's at that moment you have to decide whether you're going to go in or not, and then you sort of dig in and hold your ground. And Steve's got to come in sooner or later.
How did he react when you went back to get him?
I called Steve. Jason called Brad, and he said, "Yeah, Steve's here." So I said on the microphone, "Steve will be here any minute." And then all of a sudden I noticed it's a 30-second walk over here. So a minute and a half went by, and I said something's wrong. So I got up out of my chair and I walked over there, and I said to Brad, "What's going on?" He goes, "He's not coming in." And I'm like, "What?" I couldn't believe it because it's just not Langford. So I walked over, and Langford put up his hand and he said, "Listen, his daughters are off limits. My daughter's off limits." And I was like, "But Steve," and he's just like, he didn't want to hear it. So I just came back and reported it because I figured I'll let Howard handle it tomorrow.
Well, like you said, eventually he's coming in anyway. So now, I mean, does it make him a hypocrite?
Yeah, I think it does. I really do. I like the guy. I can like a guy. And I think his news stories are amazing. But yeah, it's a hypocritical of him not to show up today on this count.
Rich in Pennsylvania, welcome to the wrap-up show.
Hi, guys. Say, I want to talk about Langford. Gary, I think you're right. He's lost all credibility. Now when he comes in, what he did to Jenks, painting him into the corner, all Jenks has to do, all any of you all have to do from now on is say, let's talk about your daughter interviewing George. And he's got no credibility, none whatsoever anymore. He just wussed out like a big puss.
I want to know how old he is. I want to see his birth certificate.
I don't care how old he is. He acted like a 4-year-old. Oh, you can't talk about that. He talks about everybody else's problems. Even after they tell him not to, he'll go right in after it. So
I think it's going to end up being one of those things where he even now, if he's listening to this, he probably thinks to himself, you know what, I should have just gone in and dealt with it because it's just gotten bigger than it has to be.
Well, you know, guys, when he starts, it's going to happen. He's going to bust somebody's balls on something, and it's going to come before Howard, him, and whoever. And I can just hear it. I can hear it's almost like you can write the dialogue. He's going to be busting on you. Hey, let's talk about George, your daughter, in the interview. I can hear it coming.
I don't think Howard's going to press him too much about it tomorrow, but you're right that other people probably will.
Well, it's a guy who seems Teflon that's now exposed a sensitivity, and when people want to fight, that's what you go for.
And maybe he was hoping that, okay, I'll sit back, Howard will blast me on the air right now, a day passes, it blows over, it's not as big of a deal, Howard's ready to move on to the next thing, so the damage is a lot less.
Or he'll get rid of his daughter.
Well, that's not going to happen, but I do think, I forgot which one of you guys said it, though, a lot of people are going to definitely keep this bullet and wait, and they're going to use it when they get the chance. Thanks for calling in there, Rich. Eddie in Pennsylvania, you're on the wrap-up show. Hey, Eddie.
Yes, good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Hello, yes. I just want to voice some support for Steve Langford. I think Howard should have called him aside after the show and found out the whole deal with family. I agree with Steve. If Howard's kids are off limits, so is Langford's daughter till he knows exactly the circumstances.
But we know what the deal is. There's nothing special in there, and we weren't going to talk about. Howard wasn't going to ask him anything about his kid except to say to Steve. In other words, without going into Steve's family life, I'm pretty sure his daughter didn't say, "Oh, I'm a huge George Takei fan. Let me interview him for my school project." So Howard probably would have explored how did that come up and why were you getting involved in it, and that has nothing to do with his daughter.
I just think, to me, it's just the father doing something he could for his kid. If he did overstep his bounds, I would have approached him first because it involved the child myself.
But okay, but that's a great. But that discussion can be had on the air without bringing the daughter into it in any way that's going to expose any more than what we already know.
And Eddie, I also think if Steve hadn't had the track record of talking to different people on the show with different circumstances, this wouldn't be as big of a deal. But that's not the way it is.
Yeah, and I said to Howard. Howard said, "How did this?" We talked about this during the because Will did the notes. And Howard goes, how did Langford even get to him? And I said, I think he spent a week with him, traveling around with George. I'm sure they developed some sort of friendship, but Howard wasn't, he wouldn't buy in that.
All right. Thank you, Eddie. Jenks, you're on the wrap-up show.
Hey, good morning, guys. It's Jenks. This whole Langford thing, I talked to him back in his office, and he said he doesn't answer to Howard. Okay? I'm trying to figure out where he gets off saying that. How does he get off not answering to Howard on this issue? He gives it to everybody else, but when it's his turn to get it, he doesn't take it.
Jenks, don't you, Gary? Steve is scheduled to do the news update tomorrow morning.
Tomorrow, yeah.
Okay, he'll answer to Howard tomorrow morning.
Yeah, I'm going to call in tomorrow and to remind Howard to ask Steve Langford about this, and I encourage anybody who's listening to the show to call in and ask Howard to remind Steve Langford about this.
By the way, so Steve will sit and talk to you on the phone?
Yes. Well, sometimes he does, sometimes he doesn't. But I called mercilessly this morning because I knew that he had to go in the studio, and he finally did answer, and he said he doesn't answer to Howard. I don't answer to Howard.
Here's the problem for Steve. Jenks, how many times did you call me or email me this morning with suggestions about how this should be handled?
Probably 10 or 20.
Exactly. The first email was at one point. The first email was, "This is bullshit." The second one is, "You better get Langford in." The third one is, "Langford has to come in and repeat." Then it was a phone message, and there were more emails, and that's just Jenks.
Gary, I was really upset, man. I was furious.
I could tell.
How did he get away with this?
Well, Jenks, wait. Are you upset about what he's accused of doing, which he said getting the interview, or are you upset that he wouldn't talk to Howard?
No, you figure it this way. When Langford calls somebody on the carpet with a news story, okay, they are expected to come in and answer to Howard for it or talk about it to Howard. How does Langford get to put his hand up and say, "Point taken"? What if everybody did that every time Langford wanted to interview them?
But people
put their
can't.
hand up and said,
Jenks, you make a very fair point. You're going to get your answer tomorrow morning.
On Tuesday's wrap-up show, George Takei came in and he told us, we found out that I guess they basically have an agreement where Brad doesn't listen while George is on, and George talked about that. George discussed kissing one of the guys on the show, and we talked about Governor Ventura and I having a nice, friendly discussion and all.
Now joining us, and he's always gracious enough to do this every time he comes in, is the Stern Show announcer, Mr. George Takei. And George, you're back again, and in the mix with Brad's weight, and your relationship seems to come up quite a bit whenever you do the Stern Show.
Doesn't it? And it's a good thing that Brad doesn't listen in when I'm on. He is addicted to this show, but he refuses to listen in when I'm on because... Well, he has given me free reign. He says that's the way the show works, but he doesn't like to hear what I have to share when I have free reign.
When did that start?
From the very beginning.
Right from day one,
he would not listen when I'm on. And he gets it from, there's that guy who writes capsule synopsis of what happened, and that's how he finds out about it.
But you've gotten some crap once in a while in the past. How does he find out about stuff like that? You know, like your bachelor party? Like, how did he find out about that?
Well, that was written about. Right. And then other people email him, too. So
see, I'm telling you, being in a gay relationship is just like a marriage relationship, because sometimes people email my wife and tell her shit I did on the show.
George, how, just like regular people.
George, how would Brad react if he heard about that innocent kiss that you and Benji had today? Would he know that it's part of the show, or would he be a little upset?
He would know it's about part of the show, because we go to parties or we meet other gay couples and we greet them with a kiss. I mean, it's part of
but not an open mouth kiss.
Well, actually, George, Brad just went on your Twitter account.
He did?
He said he knows about the Benji kiss, and Sunday is off. Off with capital letters.
Well, then I'll try for Monday.
It's a good thing you weren't with a model, or it could have been the whole month of May.
See, Benji? See what you did?
Sorry, man.
You're too cute.
Did you guys connect at all during that moment? Did you see something in each other's eyes?
I saw him pull back right away. I mean, I felt him.
No, I didn't connect in a sexual... I like George a lot, so...
And I like you.
Thanks.
You got beautiful eyes.
Thank you.
He's embarrassed.
Look at him. He's blushing. He's
like beet red.
Hey, Ronnie, while we had him here, beforehand, when we were talking, I told Benji about this. You said what Benji did today with Jesse Ventura, that's not a rare occurrence. He does that all the time.
He does it. He does it as a thing for TV, I think. And, when I tell him a lot of times, I'll say to him, like, Benji, go away from the guests or whatever, and he'll just look at me and he'll smile and he'll just keep on doing it. And I think he thinks I'm picking on him, but Benji doesn't realize that I do work for Howard, and Howard does have certain rules, and I do abide by those rules that he asked me to to enforce. And we had the same problem. Can you let me talk?
I didn't know you worked here.
Could you let me talk?
I didn't know you worked here.
When Richard and Sal, we had the same problem with more Sal than Richard.
I didn't recognize you. I'm sorry.
He used to do the same thing.
I thought you were just some guy in the hall.
Howard got upset about it too, and I used to tell Sal, and he also used to ignore me about it. And then until Howard blasted him, then he realized that he wasn't really supposed to be doing this stuff.
So do you think Benji will continue to ignore you now after what happened today?
It came to the point when Howard really blew up today, and I don't think Benji realized how mad he was, but he really was mad. And I don't think Benji realized how mad he was about the whole thing. I mean, I know you yelled back at him. I don't know with you. You never know if it's shtick or you're serious, because that's the problem with you. Nobody ever knows the real Benji. That's the problem. And it was the whole thing with being late for work and the whole thing. It was the same thing. Nobody ever knows what your deal is, Benji. That's the whole problem.
Okay.
The only thing odder than the talkative Benji is the quiet Benji.
Yes. George. Or the other Benji. The
make out with you?
No. The resistant and defensive and
George,
somewhat hostile
But
Benji.
if someone's mad at you for something that didn't occur or occurred in a way and it's being painted in a much different way than it occurred, you would want to explain yourself. Like if there was $20 on the table and you grabbed it, and someone's like, wow, George stole that money, and you were like, no, actually, Brad told me he left me this 20. You would want to explain it before getting yelled at that you stole the money.
Did you see how Will handled it? When Howard was saying...
when Will messed up the oatmeal.
Right. And he said, you're right, yes, You're right. But and he was not resistant. And in this situation with you,
I think it's okay. Listen, I think it's okay to be resistant when you're being, when you're being mistreated. I think it's okay to
it
be
was a
resistant to
reasonable desire on the part of Howard to say, the guests are here for
what I said. Howard does not need to be reasonable. That if he decides something, if he wants us if he wants us to walk on one foot or hop through the hallway, and that's part of construction. That's absolutely fine.
Yeah,
that's reasonable. It's reasonable if Howard wants it done and that's the condition of working here. What I was saying was I thought I went through what are considered the appropriate steps before I did it.
Hey, it's Sal Governale, and on Wednesday's wrap-up show, Jason Ellis was on talking about George Takei fondling his junk. And speaking of junk, I was talking about gazing at some cock in the gym room. Now, I was strictly a gazer, and it was for statistical reasons only. That makes sense. Check it out.
I know that you're a huge fan of the show, and I know that you probably labor over coming on the show the way Howard labors on going on Letterman.
Oh,
so like on a day like today, do you walk out of there? You hit a home run?
No,
because you did.
Yeah.
I mean, you hit a home run today, right? Everybody agrees. Yeah. I mean, everyone loved it too. But do you not know that when you walk out of there?
No. This time I felt like I did better than the last time. But as soon as I walked out, I started critiquing what I didn't say.
What do you feel? What did you miss? What do you feel you missed?
I just feel that I was a little stressed and less humorous. I felt like there was a lot of, I have a lot of things that just come flying out that are just funny that none of those came out. I just did the torture the dick thing.
Now, Jason, when George comes over to take off those clamps,
it wasn't even that. It was before that.
Like when Howard
was on the other side and he started talking to me. There was a thing there where I'm like, all right. I'm cool with that, but I know people that aren't cool with that because you're straight up fucking flirting with me. Like, I've had penthouse pets in my studio. Every now and then they'll give you that look where I'm like, well, that's very flattering. I really appreciate that. And George was giving me that before he even came around. Like, he was shaking a little bit. I'm like,
his eyes aflutter a bit.
Yeah, but I thought I'm having fun.
It was fun.
Of course.
You had somewhat of a chubby though after he caressed your penis.
I was trying to get it bigger, because I kept stretching it. Good. I want gay people to want to suck it. Is there something wrong with that?
No, go ahead.
I want everybody to want it.
You want a gay man to suck your penis?
No, I want.
I don't think a straight man would. That makes sense.
I want everyone to want to suck my cock except my friends, because it's like when you go in the locker room. Like I'll change with random dudes and their dick can come out, but I ain't fucking changing with Bubba Booey over here. Like now that I know you, I don't want to see your dick in the locker room.
Does it bother you if a guy
change and then I'll come
if a guy waits in the locker room just to see your cock?
Who does? What? Is that you? Is that what you do?
The guy sitting right over here.
No, I don't do that.
You watch cocks?
No, I don't. I glance.
You're a cock watcher in the gym?
I glance out of curiosity.
I will fucking kick you in the face.
Really quickly explain to Jason
when
what
I'm
you
in
do.
Jason.
Yeah.
When I'm in the locker room, you just said that.
What is?
When I'm in the locker room,
you're not really trying to tell me a story that's true, are you?
Not the way they're putting it. It's out of context.
In any way
it's
at
out
all?
of context. So
Okay.
no.
Put it in your words.
The curiosity factor. I just joined the gym. I've never worked out in my life, as you could tell. And I just joined a gym. And when I'm in the locker room, a lot of men have a tendency to get naked. So now I'm trying to fulfill my curiosities as a man. For example, there's a guy who's mentally challenged, a retard, and his dick was small. And usually retarded people have big dicks.
I would want to
one.
see a retarded dick.
Okay. Secondly, there was an Asian. I try to fulfill that curiosity.
Right.
You would think it would be.
Wait a minute. Were they all in the locker room at the same time?
No,
naked?
these are all different.
How long were you there waiting
I've
for the entire race of dick to come in?
Okay, good question.
A month.
Yeah,
right.
You've been doing this over the period
doing research.
like a month.
I hope you filmed it.
I wish I could. I tried to take pictures, but I knew they would throw me out. I did take my BlackBerry out, but I'm like, nah, I'm crossing the line here. So I saw an Asian with the normal sized dick, thinking it would be small. I saw a retard with a small dick, thinking it would be big. And I seen a guy like you, actually, a real buff guy, who I was hoping. Now here I am changing.
You're hoping you had a little dick.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm like, God damn it, he dropped the towel, and
got
I
it
was
all.
so deflated. It was a really bad moment. It's like scratching a lottery ticket. On the third one, you can win $1 million, and it's just like a fucking potato. Like, fuck.
You never know.
And
who's
I
carrying.
was pretty disappointed the whole day for that one. Well, the whole day at the gym. So that's what I do. I don't. I'm not on a mission. I don't go into a locker room and look for dick. I'm not the Jacques Cousteau of penis. I go in there. I get in and I get out. And I happen to see a certain nationality. I fulfill my curiosity.
And his last one was a black guy who he waited and waited.
I did
and
wait for
waited,
the black,
but he didn't pull his.
There was a
pants down.
cliffhanger on the show.
See, waiting for the dick.
Wait, that's right.
That's
wrong.
Even though they didn't say it was a long time, but if you see a guy come in and you wait until his pants come off to see the size of
True.
his dick, you are way gay.
He went to go. He went to go.
No, I didn't wait.
He did. Well, hold on. He saw a black guy in tidy whities, and he went over to where the guy was blow drying his hair because he thought that maybe he'd be able to see.
No, I went to blow dry my hair. Well, I saw the guy, and based on the cliffhanger here, Jason. Last time we spoke, Gary goes, "Did you see any black dick yet?" I go, "No, not yet." But I got to see my first black guy in the gym in the locker room. I'm leaving. So I'm on my way out. I go, wow, a black fella here. So I
You were on the way out?
I was on the way out.
If you didn't work for this fucking radio show, I would call the cops.
Hold on. Again, it's a cliffhanger. Gary asked, so I saw the black fella.
Don't make it sound like you had to stay.
I didn't.
You had
the
to
obvious
stay.
cliffhanger.
Wait. He's making it sound like he had to go back so he could come report to me. You know what I mean?
No,
you're the gay
I
one.
believe that.
No
I
one
believe
told
that.
you to do this.
No,
this is your
I believe
curiosity.
you did. That's why
It's
I think
my
it's
curiosity.
okay. That's what I'm saying. I believe you did it, research to tell the story and tell Gary.
It's like your obsession with the show. Like you walk down and critique yourself. When Gary asked me last, he goes, "How about some black dick?" I go, "Haven't seen one yet." Saw the black fella, put on the brakes,
I get
hit
it.
the blow dryer,
I get it.
try to finagle my eyeballs a little bit, and he put on his sweatpants, so I messed up. But
I get it, though.
Stay tuned, everybody, in the wrap-up show. We will eventually find out.
It's really Gary's the perverted one.
Maybe.
He's just using you
Can't
to
you
get
just
the
do a
information.
show? Can't you just do a segment where you get random people to come in and guess their size and just get them all to drop it?
We could do that, yeah.
Well, then you could just nip it in the butt instead of being creepy at your gym.
Yeah, dude, why don't you make it a Howard 101 special set where you critique dick?
Yeah.
I don't want to critique it, but again...
Do you want to come on my show and I'll do it on my show today? I'll just get like a bunch of anybody who wants to come in and pull their dick out.
But Jason, the
Dick
point,
frenzy.
the point, it doesn't have to happen for a show. He's doing this in his gym. I mean, this is just...
but I believe he's doing it for research and development for the show.
I am, and wait, well, I said it fulfills my
You don't
curiosity.
think, Gary? You don't think?
Look,
I think he wants to know.
Do you
And
think if you
said-
fired him, he
Right.
would continue to do it?
Yeah, I do, because I think he wants to know.
I think we all want to know. I think every man. No, I do.
Okay,
I
you
do.
fucked yourself.
No, I didn't.
Nobody wants to
We
know
all want to
everybody's
know.
penis
I'm
size.
telling you, we all. When Steve Brandano takes a fucking piss, and if there's a guy next to him, and he has the opportunity to get an eighth of a glance just to see if he's holding up in the society of men, he's gonna do it. That's us. We're men. We measure up. We measure our biceps against biceps, our chest against chest, and our cocks against cocks.
I think it's only for insecure penises.
Well, I'm insecure. Look at it. It looks like an aardvark. It's a disaster.
On Thursday's wrap-up show, we talked about George Takei and the fact that he started off the morning thinking of Jason Ellis and jerked off to him. And would there be any complications with Brad? What does it mean? And how blind George's love seems to be for Jason Ellis. And then we all talked about what would happen in our relationships if something like that happened. And I don't think we can pull off what George pulls off. And here's that conversation.
I want to talk about what happened at the very beginning of the show, where George talked about what he did in the shower this morning, and basically, and you guys correct me if you think I'm wrong, proclaimed his love, admiration, I'm not sure of the right word, for Jason Ellis. And he said he spoke about it with Brad.
You're being too nice. He said he jerked off in the shower this morning thinking of Jason.
Well, that's another way of putting it, much more succinctly. But I guess, do they have the relationship where it's comfortable enough that those kinds of things can happen? Or do you think that there's more bad news for George around the corner? He just doesn't know that it's coming.
Well, let me ask you a question. I think Mutt started to bring this up a little bit, that they were going to talk about this on Superfan tonight. If you spent the whole week, right, sitting in there talking about that you thought your wife was fat and that she could stand to lose some weight, and then at the end of the week, a really hot girl came in and you just started squeezing her naked tits, would you be able to go home?
I wouldn't have a wife. I seriously, and I wouldn't blame her. Like, that's, and I think...
So maybe they do have some special arrangement.
I think they do. I mean, Stacy said, when she was talking about relationships, she said that maybe Brad's weight is his passive-aggressive way of telling George that, you know what? I'm going to be this way because, he's kind of fighting back in a subtle way. Or maybe everything's just smooth between them. It's hard to tell. What do you think, Ronnie?
Well, it's not the first time he's touched a cock on the show.
That's true. But
I guess they do. They've had an arrangement, obviously, before Brad's weight came up.
But George was like, listen, what I did yesterday was I just touched it. I didn't, he sort of insinuating that because he didn't do more about it. I guess it could be, a guy saying, hey, I felt the girl's tits. I didn't do anything.
Yeah, but Gary, remember the day the guy was in here with the 12-inch cock and he had his hand down?
Well, he
had that look on his face like if I had my finger up some girl's ass or something.
But isn't that like for years, girls have been coming in here, guys have been feeling them up. Isn't just touching a dick the gay version of that?
I don't know. I can't define that. I'm not in that position.
Yeah, but a lot of guys don't do that anymore. Like, you don't do it anymore, do you?
No.
And I'm sure, that's because of your wife, right?
Well, she didn't like it, and I started to feel a little dirty doing it. I'm not going to lie. I don't know if it's a kid's thing, even though I have boys. When you have kids, I start to feel a little creepy doing it.
And John, have you ever done it in here?
Not on the show, no. Well, not on the show either. No.
Yeah, John.
I got to be in the green room.
Not on the show.
Bad answer. No, I wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do it. I think it's disrespectful to my wife.
Would you have done it when you were single?
When I was single?
Yeah.
Sure. But I don't think a lot of people are doing it these days, right?
And Howard
stopped. He said out of respect to Beth, I think. Ronnie, how about you?
Have you seen me do it?
No, but next time
I haven't been in there.
But if
I've been in there with a flashlight to put them under the check for implants.
Right. But there's a difference between that.
I've held them up and put the flashlight on.
Like the one that I remember.
I'll do it. Bring somebody in here right now. I'll do it.
I can't remember the girl's name, but it was back at terrestrial radio. She had that funny, real New York accent, and we all said we didn't believe she had real tits. And the line was ridiculously long.
I remember that.
I think Wood Yee was on the end of the line.
That's what the clown car line, right?
That's when I was the last one, I think, to go in with the flashlight to test them.
Well, who usually leads that charge?
Well, DePace has always said to me his wife doesn't care and he can do whatever he wants. But he hasn't been in there in a while. But he says it's no big deal. Pam doesn't care. I don't know who leads that charge.
Usually it used to be... Jeez, I don't know. I can't remember.
Well, I think the difference here, getting it back to George, is not only is George touching him, but the way he's referring to he's literally gushing over, this guy. And if you're married to George, Gary, would it bother you?
I would think so. Listen, if my wife went to, what are those Chippendales, and she was jamming her hand down a guy's pants. And even though she was laughing, she was grabbing a dick, I'd probably be pretty annoyed.
Said he spent all weekend upset over not Phelan putting wee-wee pads in his puppy's crate, because that's one thing, but rather the comments that Scott DePace made to the Howard 100 News about smacking the dog around. I didn't hear it. I don't know what he said, but it seemed like Howard was genuinely upset over it.
Well, there's two things I want to talk about there. We'll talk about what Scott said, but first, this is... one of those things that Howard, I wish he could learn to not do. There's a dog from North Shore Animal League, and Beth was trying to help get the dog a home, and one of our guys took it. And that's great. And after that, it's okay. But Howard feels this responsibility for the whole process, which he really shouldn't have to. He's already done enough to bring the two parties together. If Brian Phelan doesn't do his job correctly, it doesn't reflect bad on Howard, yet he feels that way, and I feel bad for him.
But Howard's
it makes him crazy.
But he's just not that kind of guy. He cares, and he cares what's happening with this dog.
But
for
you
a couple of reasons.
You can't take responsibility for everything, and I feel like he takes a lot of responsibility for stuff that he can't control to the point where it really sort of helps him not be as happy as he could be.
Yeah, well, he did say that he wishes Beth didn't do it almost, because then he wouldn't have to worry about it anymore. But the issue really wasn't with Phelan and what he was doing. It was more, although that was part of the issue, it was more of what Scott said. And then when you were in there, it took about 3 seconds for you to light up on DePace. You got into it really quickly.
He just said, all I went in there to say was, Scott said, the trainer I work with said it's okay to hit a dog, which is just not the truth. So then he took a shot at me, and then I went back, but I wasn't looking.
You weren't at my house when I was talking to
I know that Jason actually, this is really more God's honest truth, more between you and Jason.
Yeah, of
because Jason's telling me what he did. In other words, sometimes people tell me stuff and I go in as the representative.
So you were saying what Jason had told you.
Jason worked with this particular trainer. So again, I didn't work with the guy. So
Training
Jason,
like a cat.
Jason should come in. No, training his dog.
No.
And Jason said that the trainer said he's a no hands trainer, meaning you don't hit or touch the dog in any way. And DePace is saying that's not the truth.
Look,
So
my wife was there, so if we need a corroboration of the story,
you guys didn't say opposite things.
Well, no, he did because he's saying it's okay to hit a dog.
He said no. He said Scott said the trainer said that it's not his method, but he doesn't. He's accepting of it.
And in fact, all of his training had to do with dominance. It all had to do with, when you go out a door, you make sure you go out first. When you put his food in the bowl, make sure he doesn't eat until you tell him it's time to eat.
Listen, there's a big difference between dominance and physical, using physical force.
This all comes down to whether you think slapping a dog on the ass a couple of times to train them is cruel. I don't see how it is. My dog plays with other dogs, and they're constantly biting each other. Isn't that a lot worse than just a little pat on the ass?
I don't know. I'm not going to get into it.
We got to ask
it's not my fight for me and you, so I'm not going to
Scott,
get into it.
they're dogs. They don't know about patting on the ass.
Well, I'm just saying, if it's about pain, then yes, you just said it. They're dogs. So I think they can handle the little bit of pain that they're actually getting. I don't think they're getting any.
Why do you think they can handle it? Like, what gives you that idea?
Well, I'm just saying their threshold must be pretty high. Whenever the dog bites me, I want to just jump out a window. It hurts. So they're biting each other. That must be okay.
No, my point is that the dogs don't know any better. They don't think, well, if I hit you,
exactly. So then why are you putting the human trait that it's cruel when I slap them on the ass?
Because you're a human. You're a human.
They're not.
Thank you for pointing that out.
But Scott, you got to think about what you just said for a second. Do you think a dog feels pain?
Yeah, probably. But
do you think that they might feel pain when they might feel pain when they're bit? Also, do you think they might if they could? Do you think they would avoid to be okay?
I mean, they keep going at it. They keep playing and going at it.
Do you really hold on a second? Do you know anything about? They don't bite down as hard as they can. That's how dogs play. They don't have hands.
What are you, a dog?
Yeah, I'm a dog. That's how I know what dogs are like, because that's the only way you can understand
really,
a dog.
You just came in like you're some dog expert. What the hell are you?
I own a dog. I watch them play.
Life. I've had dogs my whole life.
Dogs don't go and they bite each other as hard as they can, you idiot.
I'm telling you that when they bite, because I'll put my hand in there,
your dog
hurts.
bites you. If you put your hand up, then there's something wrong with your dog.
It's not. He's not you chomping down trying to draw blood, but in the midst, yeah, it hurts a lot.
Well, there's something wrong with your dog. Then I don't know what to tell you.
What you idiot! What you? All right, I won't use words. What you guys?
You won't use words.
I won't use terms.
We're going to communicate telepathically over here.
Hold on, Jason.
So here it goes into the Jason piece of shit vortex.
What happened? Those are words. It sounds like.
Scott, finish your point. Finish your point.
God, I hate you. You're
I know, it makes me so happy.
Asshole. It's funny. So many people tell me when they hear you, they've got to just turn it off.
It's funny because I hear that about you sometimes too. I hear about both. I heard about both.
But I don't.
So no one's listening now. So finish your point.
In your pink shirt, please continue.
Jason, let him talk.
You're 350 pounds, you fat whale.
Keep wearing your pink shirt.
Good.
Your point.
I forget what I was talking about.
All right, then let's
use your words. You were saying when a dog chomps down, it hurts your hand.
Yeah. So apparently they must have a threshold for pain. I don't think what I did is at all cruel. I don't sit there. My dog loves me. Sleeps on my. Oh, listen to that laugh. My dog sleeps on my bed every night. The dog loves when I come in at home. The dog loves me. Just because you guys have a different training method, don't say mine is cruel.
Let's take a step back here, Scott.
Ridiculous.
What did you say to the news that Howard got so pissed off about?
I was merely joking. Brian was going through the training of, how you put a dog in a crate. And he didn't know exactly how to do that. He put the wee-wee pad in there. And so I just said, as a joke, well, maybe you should just smack her on the ass. And that turned into Howard,
All right, so I got a question for you. Answer what Howard said today. How do you answer the allegation that a lot of your jokes are misinterpreted?
Well, you guys are dumb. I don't know. No, I have no idea.
No words, Scott. Come on, man.
I have no idea.
Because Howard says a lot of times
that's not my fault.
A lot of times when you say stuff and then people call you on it, you go, I was joking. And I guess a lot of people don't get the joke.
It is a comedy show here, isn't it? I don't know.
But we're not doing a comedy show.
Maybe I'm too good. Maybe I'm such a straight guy.
And I'm not saying I'm against this issue. You say that slapping the ass is okay.
Yeah.
But then you're saying it's a joke when you
Well,
said
how
it.
I said it, I was joking. If you listen to it, I think it's pretty obvious that I was joking.
Brian Fallon, was he joking?
I think he was joking. Yeah, he tried to, add comedy into the conversation. But yeah, a lot of people don't get his jokes, that's for sure.
So did you think Howard was pissed off at you this morning?
Yeah, he was yelling at me the other day. So he actually had Ronnie come in and yell at me too. So I thought I was going to be in a lot of trouble. But then it turned and went on to Scott, which is great.
What do you mean he had Ronnie come in to yell at you?
Because he told me I didn't know what I was doing. Because I didn't, I put the wee pad in the crate, and you're not supposed to do that. That's where they sleep. And he goes, you don't know what you're doing. I got to get you a trainer, blah, blah, blah. I'll get you the number. And then he went outside and saw Ronnie. He's like, Ronnie, he doesn't know what he's doing. Go in there and yelling at him. Tell him what to do. So then Ronnie came in and started yelling at me like I didn't know what I was going, Like, I have 3 kids, and I had a dog before. I know how to train something, So I just took it as...
Everyone's got their own way. I don't understand this.
I was expecting more, but, it
So you
deflected to Scott.
So you just disagree with Howard's method?
Yeah, and Howard on the air this morning tried to say that I'm the know-it-all. Well, who the hell is he then? Right? If he's saying my method's wrong, why? I never said that his method was wrong. It's to each their own. I would say he's a little bit more of a know-it-all, just in the sense that his wife spends a great deal of time with animals. Okay, maybe recently, but I've had dogs my whole life. He didn't grow up with animals. I probably had 10 dogs. Just because you've had them your whole life doesn't mean that everything you're doing with them is correct. It just means you've had them. But there's a track record of success. I know how to get a dog to stop peeing in the house. Well, that's but how do you get that reaction? How do you get to getting a dog? Who cares? But that's what I think Howard's talking about. You can train a dog by taking him outside, or every time he pees, you can hit him over the nose with a newspaper. You're going to get the same result, but different ways. Yeah, and one of them I think Howard would disagree with. All right. To me, the dog is not hurt forever, and it's not barely even hurt at that moment. Then why wouldn't you, every time your kid pees in a diaper, why would you hit him over the face with a paper? Because my kid is a human, for one.
But
he's
they
not a
hit their
dog.
brothers.
And I'm trying to, and I was never shown that to be an effective method.
I think I'm sure your kid has a threshold for pain.
I think there's a philosophy there. I think because I hear this with Will a lot too. Will grew up with a lot of animals, and his whole rap is, listen, I love dogs and stuff, but they're fucking dogs. And some people feel a different way about them, and I think there's a different philosophy there.
So do you think Howard's method's wrong or just different?
No, just different. I wouldn't have the patience to sit there and yell no for months until it finally worked. It doesn't take much.
Jason,
I'm sure. All of the training methods that I was trying, it was like, oh, you've got 2 hours of homework each day. I'm just not going to do it.
Jason, did anything get lost in translation when Gary came in and sort of said what you had told him?
No,
to
in
Scott?
fact, the guy, because I had watched the dog before Greg Cleva from Barkbusters came over. I had watched The Dog Whisperer. I still watch The Dog Whisperer. And The Dog Whisperer is a little bit hands-on. He doesn't hit the dog, but what he does is to simulate where the mom would nip the dog, like in the neck, to give him he does a little poke in the neck, like, and then touch them in the neck.
Back of the neck.
And it's not a hit
Very
or
sensitive
anything.
there.
And I was talking to Greg about that, and I said, I was a little uneasy with that because I always heard you're not supposed to touch the dogs. And he said, no, I have a hand. He goes, I have no problem. It's not his method, and that he has a completely and utterly hands-off method of dealing with the dog. That was the opening line of our conversation about how to train a dog.
And there's nothing inaccurate there. All I'm saying is what he said to me, I described what I had done, and he said there's nothing wrong with that either. It's just not my method. So,
Were you surprised how Gary reacted to when you chimed in this morning?
Yeah, he got very angry when I just brought out some facts that Gary has an electric fence. And to me, an electric fence is a little more harsh than slapping on the ass. A lot more harsh. My dog doesn't even wear an electric collar anymore. Well, but he certainly had to at one point. Yes, he did. It's a pretty common. Listen, it's a common tactic, and I guarantee you, my tactic is more common than your electric fence.
Well, Guy, why did they stop wearing? Why did they stop wearing?
Because he just knows now. Yeah,
but is it because
he got shocked enough?
Would you do it again if you got a new dog? Would you? I
think I would. You know what? It's. I live in a neighborhood where there's a lot of cars that go by. Cool. I have a very, very active dog. You know what I mean? And I don't want him running into the street and getting run over by a car. I'll tell you, too. I think that's cool.
An electric collar on Mary if she became a man?
Sure. We just got new couches, and my wife didn't want the dog for once to be on the couch. And normally, Cookie the dog had always been on the couch. So suddenly we had to train her a new way. So she found these electric pads that give you a little shock.
Dog did it once, hasn't been up there again.
Oh, so you shocked the dog too, and you're making fun of Gary?
I know exactly. I'm just pointing out that he's a hypocrite.
Well, how does that work? You get like
he's a hypocrite. That's
well,
all
so
I'm
are
saying.
you then? If you're making fun of Gary for shocking his dog, and you do the same thing.
No, you
Scott
jerk
is
off.
right and you're wrong.
I could care less. I'd put an electric fence up too.
Wait, Scott, so these are electric pads that you put on the couch?
Put on the couch.
And
I
so
got
if the
shocked by it twice.
So if the dog
She doesn't want you on the couch either.
So if the dog jumps up on it, it shocks him and goes
Right.
down. And
Right.
you got shocked?
Yeah, I got shocked twice.
And your kids get
My
shocked?
kids got shocked. My one son had his hand. He was laying on it. It was turned off. And the other kid came over and turned it on.
Oh my God!
And it got him.
How strong of a shock is it?
Your kids treat each other like dogs.
Yeah. It's it's I don't know. It doesn't hurt that.
Threshold for pain.
Rich in Carolina, you're on the wrap-up show.
Hey guys, you guys usually rip on Scott the Pace, but I usually defend him. But I think in this case he's very wrong. The main reason why you don't want to be beating your dog is just the same reason why my brother, when his dog does something wrong, he kicks him. He really does it aggressively. But guess what? His daughter shows. His daughter is now learning that it's okay to hit.
But sir, wouldn't you say that what you described? Wouldn't you say what you described is a little more than what I did? I merely slapped the dog on the ass like 4 or 5 times, not very hard. I never kicked her.
Well, we don't know. Hold on, we don't know that to be the case.
Well, I've described it.
That's what you tell us.
Are you telling?
I would like to see documentation.
Shit on the couch, you're not going to whack the hell out of it. Give me a break.
No, I'm not. I push it off. I push it off. The couch.
You need it.
Well,
You said you need it.
Me taking
No, that's a bunch of crap too.
You
That
said
was-
it on the show. You said when a dog jumps up that you need it.
And I don't think you were kidding that day.
Yes, it was a joke. Someone said what you do is that was one method. The other one was to step on the back foot while you're holding the front.
You'll
foot.
hear a dog yelp, and you'll hear about their threshold of
I got to tell you, me asking for documentation that I don't know that you hit your dog any more than you don't know that Obama's birth certificate is real. In other words, I have to take your word at it.
Well, you took my word that I hit her in the first place.
I think you. But
So
how do
why
I know?
wouldn't you take
How do
my-
if you admit to hitting your dog? How do I know what level you're really telling the truth about?
Well, then you might have shocked your dog 10 or 12 times.
Maybe I have.
Yeah, let me have documentation on it.
Hey, it's Gary Dell'Abate, Baba Booey. On Tuesday's wrap-up show, we were talking to Ronnie about B the Tranny, and he said he thought she was sort of cute. We were wondering if Ronnie was a little smitten with B. He said he was just more fascinated by her. And then Mark Paul Gosselaar, you probably know him as Zach from Saved by the Bell, and Breckin Meyer, who was in the movie Clueless. They're friends of the show, big fans, and they stopped by and we chatted with them a little bit. Here's how it all went.
Ronnie's now here. We're talking about B, Ronnie, and you seem to have an interest in B today when you went in there.
I just wanted to see it up close because I saw it on the TV screen, and it was hard to tell what it looked like.
And how would you describe it?
Pretty scary looking, kind of. I don't know. It was like the only cool part was like you just stand her up and just bang her. You don't even have to move her. I mean, it's like it's straight on. Like a lot, you want to fuck a girl, you got to lift her leg, standing up, and you just stand there and just stick it in and go. It was kind of weird. It was kind of weird.
Is it the beginning of a movement to move regular women's vaginas up taller?
That'd be kind of cool. Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah,
Yeah, future woman. That's how like.
You know what? But you know what? Okay, so after she came out of the studio, and I've picked out. We've done contests and stuff like that, and I've picked out who the tranny was and all that nonsense. But this guy, girl, whatever you want to call him, well, it's a girl because she's a female on a driver's license, so she's officially, I guess, a girl now. You looked at her hands and her arms and everything else, except for her feet. She had pretty eyes and everything, but her feet were horrible. I mean, they really looked like guys' feet. She had like curled toes and stuff, and it was really strange. But her hands, usually you could tell right away by the hands, she had real feminine-looking hands.
You really checked her out.
Yeah, I did.
Now, if you ran into her, we were saying before, if you ran into her in a club, do you think you would have been fooled?
Yeah, especially after a couple of shots of tequila, for sure.
And how far do you think things would go?
I don't know. I don't know.
Would you be standing up next to her by the end of the night? I mean, what do you think?
No,
Would you be tweeting, I just fucked the perfect vagina?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Gary, you're right. He does seem a little smitten.
And I was kind of curious to find out when she blows her load, which I really don't believe she can. I really don't believe it for the life of me. I can't see how it works.
Well, that's my question. It is you can't lubricate because that they haven't figured out for the operation. So,
Right.
so when she comes, is it semen?
Well, what is it?
It sounds like
does she come?
She said there was a
goo. She said it was goo.
Liquid comes out, so it sounds like it was some
Yeah.
sort of ejaculate is still coming out.
Does this thing turn you on, Ronnie?
No, but I was real intrigued by her explanation of everything.
I think B's got a big fan over here.
By the way, I got to tell you
I thought she was pretty cool, actually.
I liked it. The weird thing for me was when B got here, I went to the green room to say hello, and B introduced me to her brother, who looked to be around the same age, and so it's over for me because there's me as a dude.
Right. Which one was her brother, the fat guy or the other one?
The other one.
Oh, okay.
How did that Sibian ride go, Gary?
It went fine. I put my beekeeper's mask on. Some people will see it on TV and think that I was, grossed out by her, which I really wasn't. But she said she doesn't know how she comes or where she comes from, I
don't blame
put
you,
the
man.
mask on. I didn't know what was going to happen.
See, that's what I was afraid that if she came, it was going to shoot, like a guy.
I genuinely didn't know what was going to happen, and I wanted to be ready. Turn on the Sibian. For a second, I thought she might get into it, and then it was obvious. She says, yeah, this isn't going to work for me.
Yeah, because I see, that's what as soon I was watching it when you turned it on, and it was like, you could see there was no feeling at all there, and that's what kind of like makes me feel like, I don't know, if she even does blow a load. I don't know.
I want to say something, too. I think that our television lighting crew might be a little homophobic.
Why is that?
Because every time a hot chick gets on the Sibian, as soon as Howard goes go, they dim the lights, and they didn't bother dimming the lights for her.
Gary, who's that over there?
Some friends of ours stopped by to say hello real quick. You guys want to say a quick hello? Mark Paul Gosselier and Brecken Meyer, who have a new show out. And the reason why I brought these guys in, because I know them for a while, but Mark's a big fan of the show, and hopefully sometime in the future will be appearing on Celebrity Superfan Roundtable. And Brecken, you were hanging out. You were hanging out with Howard at the party, right?
That was really fun. Yeah,
he got great things. He says you're a very good drummer.
I heard about that, and other than being in Mad Magazine, that was the highest praise I think I've ever gotten.
Now, Brecken, were you conscious of like, should I walk up to Howard? Should I leave him alone?
No,
What was the
I
vibe?
was with Ryan. I was with Philippi, who's a friend of the show, and I'm such a giant fan of you guys that I kind of knew the etiquette right off the bat. I was afraid to walk up to Howard. I was just standing back, and I was like, I'll just hang with Stamos and be wall candy. And then when we went, and then Todd Phillips who directed Road Trip and The Hangover, we all went over and talked to Howard for a second. I think I was still shaking. But
a lot of people at that party, huh?
It was star-studded.
I mean, and you live there, but that was a big party.
I mean, I don't live at Jimmy's, but I live in the area. Yeah, no, it was. Matt Damon and Ben Affleck and people with Oscars were there. Crazy.
What are you guys out here promoting, Mark? What do you guys got a show together?
Yeah, we got a new show June 1st on TNT called Franklin and Bash.
And what kind of show is it?
Legal drama with humor.
With humor?
A lot of humor.
So on the show, are both you guys lawyers?
Yeah.
Now, did you guys know each other before you did the show?
We knew of each other. I mean, we grew up in the industry together, so it's, we've been in this thing for about 20 years now. So we knew of each other, but
did not know each other. Yes,
Mark,
we have a chemistry.
You're a big listener of the show.
Huge listener.
Yeah,
we were listening this morning to Scott.
Can I say, I'm such a giant fan right now. We came in, Mark Paul was pointing out everyone because I don't know anyone's face. I only know the voices. He literally goes, there's Benji, and I realized I started bouncing, and I go, is it really? And, really didn't. And John, it's funny, standing over there, I hear your voice in my car, not 24/7, except when my daughter's in there. And it's so funny to put a face to it. It's crazy.
And Ronnie, I walk in with the mustache and the sideburns. I didn't even recognize him. He didn't recognize me. Remember when you guys came to the set?
That's right.
Yeah.
I knew Mark Paul was a really big fan because when he was on NYPD Blue, I'd go down to the set from time to time. So I saw him there, and something happened that morning. We never met each other or anything. And he walked by me and he goes, "Hey, is Mary pissed at you for what happened this morning?" I'm like, holy shit, he really listens.
Yeah.
What do you guys think of Robin's trip to Peru? Any insight on
the
that?
Awanaska, what is it? I can't even say it. Ayahuasca.
Did Fred do a cover of Cocaine at his gig? Did she show up? I missed that. She didn't?
No.
Oh man, I would have loved to have heard that.
Well, you're going to be hearing her sing Cocaine quite a bit on the show over the next few
I want to hear
weeks and
Fred
months.
do the cover of that
We've been getting a lot of songs, and
Yeah.
I have 5 more songs that came in late in the show that are all cocaine related.
We're going to do Franklin and Bash in Peru as an homage to Robin.
Now, other than Howard, of course, who's the one person you'd be like, wow, you'd love to sort of meet and sit down and talk to? Who are you the biggest fan of all the characters on the show? You don't have to say Gary because he's sitting there.
I'm
It
a
could be
giant
anybody.
Fred fan.
I'm a huge Fred fan.
I was looking forward to just literally seeing how it works.
He sat in last week, though, didn't he? Fred?
Yeah, Fred came by. You guys going to be here for a while?
We'll be here for a
because
minute.
after we're done with the wrap-up show, I'll take you and I'll show you Fred's setup. It's mind blowing.
I would love to go behind the curtain of Oz.
But when you see Fred's setup and you see how it works, you'll be blown away.
I know. You know who I know is Scott Eisinger. We have kids in the same class, so he was saying hello to everybody.
Excellent.
And Brecken, you hung with JD, right? With Ryan?
No, every time Ryan hung out with JD, I was out of town.
Oh, really?
Yeah. For some reason, every time I missed it. It was like Haley's Comet.
Well, you're going to see JD in a little while.
JD probably thinks he's avoiding him.
I say JD's a lot like Haley's Comet. That's right.
Well, guys, promote the show again before you leave, because I know you got to do other shows.
Franklin and Bash on June 1st, Wednesday, yeah?
Yeah, Wednesday, 9 o'clock.
There you go.
All
you
right.
can see the guy from Saved by the Bell, the guy from
Thanks for coming by, guys.
Thanks,
Appreciate
it.
Thanks, guys.
Wednesday's wrap-up show revolved around Miss Howard TV. Not how great she looked or how she was on the show, but rather, what's Mike Ganji doing up here? Does Ganji only show up when the hot chicks are there? And does he take all the plum assignments from Howard TV, which could upset other people? Well, Ganji had his opinion, everyone else had their opinion, and here's how that conversation went.
Yeah, Ganji, are you here only because Miss Howard TV is here?
No, I'm here because we have a Miss Howard. Yes. So in a general sense, yes, we have a Miss Howard TV shoot here this afternoon, which I'm involved in. So it's natural for me to come in early in the morning to see her segment and be here for that. Yes.
I will tell you this. Ganji also was saying that one of the reasons he came in today, partially for that, partially because he needed a favor from me. And in all fairness to Ganji, it was the lamest favor ever.
No, I know.
He needed 2 autographed pictures. He could have easily emailed me, and I would have had them to you.
Yeah, but it's also better for me to get the pictures. There's a whole procedure
They're right
to get
in my
pictures
drawer.
around here.
People email me day and night for
Well,
pictures.
I don't know that. Every time I've ever done it, I get the pictures. I bring it to you with the name on it. So that's the way. That's the way it's handled.
Is it for the Miss Howard TV to get in her pants?
Gary, now why don't those requests come up when Be the Tranny is up here or a different type of guest?
Look, if I needed to come up here for Be the Tranny, I would have been here for Be the Tranny. I was here for Buck Angel.
No,
Listen,
we're not saying if you need to be here, you need to be here. It just seems to be that you are voluntarily here for these days.
Well, because again, the shoot's right after the show.
Are you in charge of the shoot?
No. Well, Chris is producing the shoot, so we need a second camera. So I shoot second camera for him, and then I leave. So I'm just here to make sure it starts all right.
I'll play devil's advocate.
Yeah.
What other segments outside of Miss Howard TV do you shoot second camera for?
A lot of stuff. This weekend, I'll have a camera.
Where?
Ronnie and Shirley's block party in Allentown, Pennsylvania.
Well, the last couple.
Where I could go way deep on this.
But that's not
where you're going to hang out with Ronnie. It'll be fun, and
no,
you'll
but
have to meet chicks.
I'm going to be working, so it's not fun for me. It's work for me.
Are you saying
if I was hanging out, then it's fun?
Are you saying Ganji doesn't take the tough assignments?
I'm saying I don't think you see Ganji shooting second camera at the Be the Tranny documentary.
I can tell you I don't remember Ganji being at either of the craptaculars. I know that.
I gotta tell you that if we can get a couple of the Howard TV guys, the lower level guys, and maybe black out their faces and voices because they're all scared of getting fired, you'll hear some good opinions about Ganji.
So, Jason, what have you heard? Tell me one thing you heard, and I can tell you exactly why.
I've heard one of the raps I've heard about you is that you always act busy and tell people how busy you are, but you're not actually busy. That seems to be one of the...
See that? Oh my God. If that person who said that should be fired. Because they're probably not busy.
You should be too busy to fire them.
I heard Ganji worries about the pizza that's missing.
We heard about the grandma's pizza.
You've outed someone, and I will find out, and maybe they'll be fired.
I haven't outed anyone. What are you talking about?
Someone said that, so it was very easy to find out.
It was Doug Goodstein.
So what else?
I've also heard that you definitely take all the plum assignments and don't give the good assignments to the other people. And
everybody has.
I know you have seniority, but
everybody has every. Look, what's better than the behind the scenes stuff right now?
Well, then why don't you shoot it?
Well, because I don't take all the plum assignments. Duh, that's exactly.
You really think hanging out in our office till 2:00 in the afternoon is a plum assignment?
Well,
I don't even want to be here.
So tell me the other plum. What are the plum assignments?
Well, it's all the strip clubs that you fly to.
Again, that nobody wants to go to because it's on a weekend and nobody wants to take their time.
So you've given this rap on. This is a perfect example.
Right.
You've given this rap on the air. My IM blows up. F you. Nobody else wanted to take it. I asked Angie 17 times to go to that.
We have a coordinating producer named Sean Gordon. He asks everybody all the time, and everybody's like, Oh, is it at night? Oh, do I get paid overtime? Oh, do I get a day off for going? Oh, so I'm the only one that says, like, look, if everybody doesn't want to go, if you have no other resort, I'll go. I don't care.
That's not how.
But that's the reality of it.
Listen, maybe people are just trying to rile me up to get it going, but that's what people I am.
That's the reality of it. And I guarantee Sean would get on the phone and back me up at a heartbeat. That he goes to
in
everybody
Gandy's
on the
defense,
staff
I've heard him say, does anyone want to go?
All right.
Okay, I'll go.
Wait, settle down, guys. Now, Mike, do you see why people may have this perception? Because when the Miss Howard TVs are here, you're here. When you hear about a trip to Vegas or anything involving, the strippers or the girls, you're there.
Again, I don't volunteer for them. Sean goes around, we're like, all right, who will go? And Sean will ask people if they're willing to go, and a lot of times they say no. Ronnie and Richie, when they went to Steven Singer to get the ring, right? So we asked a bunch of people. If everybody said no, I said I would go.
What you would to get what ring?
We shot Richie and Ronnie on the road trip to getting Richie's engagement ring.
Really?
By the way,
where are you going to show that?
Well, I don't know. We
By the way, according
we
to
thought
both,
we might need it. So.
According to both the other guys, it was a giant party. They're drinking. There
But
were
again,
girls.
I don't know that. I
Did
didn't know that
you go
before.
when Richard went to get his ring?
No, because if Richard told us, we would have.
Oh, I thought.
That's the part.
Richie
had a beer.
Right,
Yeah.
they give you give you beer and wine and cookies. And
But the
there's
point is,
beautiful
if
girls
Richard had told us, we would have.
really.
We
Beautiful
didn't know.
girls.
So I mean, what are you going to do? But
All right, John, wrestle control back.
It is like a strip
Too
club.
many voices here. Let's go to the phones. We'll talk to Billy in Arizona. Billy, what do you have to say about this?
I believe Ganji's just full of it.
Based on what?
Straight up and honest. I mean, if there's a beautiful girl in there, yeah, I'm jealous. I'd like to come in there. But just be straight up and honest with everybody, Ganji. When a good-looking woman comes in, you want to come down there. It ain't no big deal.
Look, if it was somebody I was interested in, I'd absolutely say yeah. But the Miss Howard TV, I'm not interested in.
See, and Billy's touching it. Thanks for calling, Billy. He's touching upon Gary's issue, what Gary said in the beginning of the show, which was, if you came clean and just said, hot chicks up here, I want to be here, then that's
Dude,
that.
sometimes
I would understand that.
Sometimes there is that situation. Sometimes I just think of it as work. It's not. I swear to God,
So it's
I'm
the
not
same
thinking-
situation. You just think of it in different ways at times.
Yeah, like look. Has there been hot chicks up here? Like if a Jenna is up here one day or something like that? Absolutely. But if other situations, I just think of it as work. Again, BB, when BB was up here, I came up because Richie was doing the Daily Show, so he couldn't come up. And again, I wasn't thinking of it as a hot chick. I was just thinking of it as some porn girl who's going to ride the Sibian.
A lot of the contests we do up here, I'm in charge of going through the entries, right? And I'll go through them whether it's the worst penis injury or the hottest chick with the hottest daughter. But I would be so pissed if whenever there was a hottest chick, hottest daughter contest, if you came to me and you said, no, I'll handle this one.
Right.
But again, I don't do that. But I don't do that. That's not the way it goes down.
But then, so the only two people that could handle Miss Howard TV are the two most senior producers at Howard TV?
Again, right now, Chris produces the shoots. So he's in there producing the shoot.
But when you used to produce the shoot,
right.
You did the interview and you did the. So why doesn't Chris do everything?
But the problem, it's a long story, but it switched from a lot of people. It switched. Isaac used to produce them for a long time, and Isaac did the whole thing. So when Isaac left, I took it over because we didn't really have a person to put in that slot that can be there all the time, and it would be just like 1 month somebody could be able to do it. Next month you'd have to train somebody else to do it. The next month, you know what I mean? So it was I had consistency.
Right.
I was always here. You know what I mean? So it was like that for a long time, and that's just the way it was.
But now Chris took over, and how come he didn't take over full duties? I guess
he does, in a sense that he tries to find the girls. He books them. We just do an interview because again. I don't know. I mean, we want to see who's going on our air. Like, look, at the end of the day, we're in charge of Howard TV, so I want to see who's going on it. I absolutely do.
If they're a girl.
Well, think of the
but if we were
bombshells.
doing, look, we were involved when we hired Sid to host something, when we hired Jim Florentine to host something, all those other things. We were involved in the same exact level.
All right, Steve, we got to take a break. Let's let Ganji get his...
John Hine and the bonus show. We were involved in the same exact level.
No, I didn't talk to you. Rachel talked to you guys. I talked to somebody else who I never met before.